Right now, somewhere behind your eyes, 3 different proteins are picking up wavelengths of light. Red, green, blue. Your brain is mixing them together every millisecond to build the entire color world you have ever seen. The octopus has only one. Mathematically, it should see the world the way a black and white photograph sees a sunset. Shades of gray, differences in brightness, nothing more. And yet, right now, somewhere in the Pacific, an octopus is sliding across a piece of orange coral, and every cell on its body is turning orange. For 100 years, biologists said this was impossible. Then, in 2015, a researcher in California decided to stop looking at the octopus's eyes. And what he found rewrites what seeing actually is. Most people assume animals see the way we do. Eyes, retina, brain. Same recipe, slightly different ingredients. But the octopus seems to be doing something else entirely. Something that, until 2015, biologists thought was simply impossible. In the next 8 minutes, we're going to look at the strange machinery behind octopus vision and the discovery that suggests this animal may not be seeing the world with its eyes at all. Inside the human eye, you have 3 types of photoreceptors called cones: red, green, blue. Your brain mixes the signals and produces the entire color palette you know. The octopus only has 1 type of photoreceptor. In theory, that means the octopus sees the world the way a black and white photograph sees a sunset. Shades of gray, differences in brightness, nothing more. And yet, when a flounder buries itself in sand, the octopus passes overhead and goes perfectly sand-colored. When it slides across a piece of orange coral, it goes orange. When it freezes against algae, it goes green. The match is so precise that marine biologists call it crypsis, disappearing not by hiding, but by becoming the background itself. For decades, no one could explain how an animal supposedly blind to color was solving a puzzle that requires color vision. Then, in 2015, a researcher at the University of California, Santa Barbara, named Desmond Ramirez, decided to look somewhere no one had ever thought to look. He didn't look at the eyes, he looked at the skin. In early 2015, inside a quiet lab at the University of California, Santa Barbara, Desmond Ramirez held a piece of octopus skin in his hand. It was no bigger than a fingernail, no eyes attached, no brain attached. He placed it in a petri dish. He shone different wavelengths of light on it, and the skin reacted. The pigment cells, called chromatophores, opened and closed in response to light, by themselves, with no eyes attached, with no brain attached. The skin was responding to light as if it were trying to see. When Ramirez looked at the genes being expressed in the octopus's skin, he found something stranger still. The same light-sensitive proteins that live inside your retina, proteins called opsins, were present everywhere on the octopus's body, across the head, down the arms, inside the suckers. Ramirez and his colleague Todd Oakley published their findings in the Journal of Experimental Biology. They proposed something that until then had only been a fringe idea among biologists. The octopus might be seeing, quite literally, with its skin.
But that's only half the story.
Because there is a second piece to this puzzle, and it might be the stranger one. Even ignoring the skin, the octopus's eye is strange in its own right. Roger Hanlon, a senior scientist at the Marine Biological Laboratory in Woods Hole, has spent over 40 years filming cephalopods. He puts it more bluntly than anyone else. Octopuses see color with their skin. Most animals have round pupils or vertical slits like a cat's. The octopus has a horizontal W-shaped pupil. It looks almost mathematical. In 2016, two researchers, a father-son team named Alexander and Christopher Stubbs, proposed something elegant. They argued that the W-shaped pupil scatters incoming light unevenly across the retina, creating a strong chromatic aberration. In other words, different wavelengths come into focus at different distances. So, when the octopus moves its eye, it can detect what color a thing is by how blurry it becomes. Color through motion, color through aberration, color through the skin. The octopus may not see color the way you do, but it may not need to.
But here is where this becomes harder to talk about.
Because if the octopus is detecting light all over its body, what does it actually experience? Does it have 1,000 small images, one for each square centimeter of skin? Does its sense of vision blur with its sense of touch into something else entirely, some unified perception with no word in any human language? The philosopher Peter Godfrey Smith has spent years swimming with octopuses off the coast of Australia. In his book, Other Minds, he writes that an octopus is the closest thing we have on Earth to meeting an alien, a creature with which we last shared a common ancestor more than 600 million years ago. Before there were fish, before there were jaws. And in that long separation, the octopus evolved a way of being aware that did not pass through our recipe. 2/3 of its neurons live not in its central brain, but in its arms. Each arm can taste. Each arm can move on its own. Each arm may be, in some small way, seeing. When an octopus reaches under a rock, it is not the octopus reaching. It is something more like a colony of partial minds working in concert. No one knows what that feels like. No one ever will.
When you look at the world,
You do it from one window, 2 eyes, one brain, one stream of light, becoming one image. When an octopus looks at the world looks back through 50 million tiny cells spread across a soft, moving body. It tastes the rock with its suckers. It senses the shadow with its shoulder. It changes color before it has even decided to. For 300 million years, it has known something about color we are only beginning to understand. We are not alone on this planet, and we may not even be the same kind of awake.